What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Mack, one of the hosts of the Black Hills Podcast, and today I want to talk about World Trigger and the away mission test that is going on right now. Now, I'm not going to go deep into how is every squad performing, how is Samu's group doing, what's the big reveal of the test, what's the plot twist of the test. None of that. I just want to actually just do a breakdown of what the test is, how it's being done, and what exactly is supposed to come out of it. So, to jump right into that, let's talk about why we're doing this test in the first place. Now, if you don't know, the away missions are expeditions into neighbor worlds, alien worlds, to go get triggers, technologies to help build triggers, information on the worlds, and whether or not them or somebody else is going to try to attack us, so trying to make an ally as well, or going to get people who have been taken from our world and try to be used as a power source in the alien worlds. So obviously you want to make sure you have the cream of the crop for that, and that's what this test is doing to help find out who exactly is best qualified to go on an away mission. Now, the participants for this test will be the middle to top B rank squads that just got organized through the B rank wars, where our main cast of Osamu Mikumo, Yuma Kuga, Hughes, and Chika Amatori, comprising Tamakoma 2, placed second in those B rank wars. Now, granted, I wish they would have made it first too, but hey, the Nomiya squad, they were unbeaten until Tamakoma 2 beat them the second time around, and yeah, so we got to take our victories where we can. But the craziest thing about this is that new teams are formed to take the test, and they all come from the B rank squads being broken up and reorganized together. So no two people who are in the same squad during the B rank wars are on the same team now for the away mission test. This is very good because you might not be able to go with your team on an away mission. If it's somebody who seems to be overly qualified or have an ability that really seems helpful on the field, that person can be picked to go on an away mission. And a good example of this is our very own Chika, who is our good old sniper cannon. She has an immense amount of try-on, so the higher-ups are like, hey, no matter what, she's on the team, all right? So you want to make sure that people can handle dealing with people they're not familiar with, or working in an environment they may not be all that familiar with either. So I think that's pretty important for this test. But to actually talk about the test, it's comprised in two phases. Now, the first phase takes place over a week, where the reorganized B rank groups have to spend on a ship that has to be powered by them. They are provided food, they're provided a rest area. There are 5 people to the squad, so 4 attackers and 1 operator. And you have to go through and do certain assignments, we'll say. The assignments are actually broken down into 2 parts. The first part is going through and having a list of assignments every day that the teams have to break apart with each other to see, like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this amount of assignments? Hey, can you answer this many questions? I'll take on this many questions, blah, blah, blah. So it's a good thing to help try and break up work and see who can actually organize their team the best and most efficiently to get as many assignments done as possible before the end of the day. Now, the other part of the assignments is the higher-ups will send in a question that the teams will have to come together to answer, and the leader will then send that back to get evaluated by the heads of border. Now, the thing that makes this a bit troublesome is that the questions are very vague, and sometimes it's a bit hard to understand what exactly the heads of border want as an answer. So it's really good to see the teams come together and make up these answers and try to really dig at the heart of, like, what's the point of us living like this? What's the point of us doing certain things throughout the test? Or what do we think about the way some of these things are set up? So it's a good way to really make sure people are trying to understand the point of everything that they're doing. So I like that part. Now, the next thing that happens is the battle simulator. The battle simulator is pretty much each member that is taking the test has a certain number of units of them assigned to take in the battle simulator. All units have been fine-tuned to kind of match the abilities of the person taking the test. So you have a certain number of units. The units all have their individual stats. Some are stronger, some are faster, some have low try-on, some have high try-on. So you have to be able to use these units in the battle simulator to go fight against other teams. And if I'm not mistaken, I think every team has to go through 4 battles, so one team has to fight against 3 other teams before the end of the day. Now, the way to win, obviously, is to try and have as many units left after the battle is over, but if you can, just destroy all the units on your other opponent's team. Now, This actually brings the highest grading potential for every day that they're on this first phase. And also, it's very good to see people have to figure out a way to adjust to this type of fighting style because, hey, it's a battle simulator. It's a game. So some people may not be as good as games as others. And it's also a bit tricky to do too because you only have a certain amount of moves that your unit can take. So it's really good to see that, like a different way to just like have an overview of the battle and to see who is able to adjust to this new way of fighting. And I think that's really good too. And the last part to talk about is every team is being monitored by the A-rank squads. So the A-rank squads are seeing how people are conducting themselves, how the leaders are divvying up the work, how the teams are covering for themselves, how they're interacting, whether or not they're starting fights or arguments, or if somebody's doing something a little bit underhanded. And I think that's very good because you need to make sure that everything is being accounted for. You don't want somebody who's just going to lie to their team all the time being on your squad on an away mission. You don't want somebody who's definitely just going to be indecisive and not know what to do on your away mission either. You also need to make sure that you got people that are just good teammates. So I think it's nice that they are able to go through and look at like, hey, yeah, all right, I've been on an away mission, so I know something like this is valuable, or I've been on an away mission and something like this is bad for the team, whether it's morale or just an operation of a team in general. So that's pretty cool too. And like I said, it's 2 phases to this test. Now the second phase, we don't actually know any information about. The only thing we have available to us is that the second phase will take place over 2 days. And currently in the arc, if I'm not mistaken, we are on the 3rd day, and the 3rd day is just wrapping up. And the next chapter, everybody should get their scores for the 3rd days. Now, in the next video, I actually will go through and talk about the away mission, what's happening, how squads are performing, and exactly how squads are either gaining or losing points, what squads are doing better than how they started, and stuff like that. But for now, that's all you really need to know about the away mission test and how it's being done. If you have any other questions, put them in the comment section. We'll talk about them. If you like this video, be sure to actually click on the button to show it. And if you want to just talk about World Trigger more, then let me know. Trying to reach out and do more World Trigger content. This is actually pretty fun, so let's try and keep it going. But that's it for your boy Mike Mac. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.